What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another strategy video. Let's get right into it. This is going to be the top 5 wide receivers you should be targeting late in the draft. And by late, I basically mean I believe all these guys are going to be like rounds 8 and more. And little disclaimer, if you want to download my entire wide receiver rankings, this is updated basically every week. Just go to the wide receiver rankings video on my channel. Look in the description and you can download whatever the updated rankings is, so you don't have to watch the video because that's not going to change. But every week I'll be changing the rankings to update them as I see them fit. So let's get in. Number 5, Sterling Shepard, wide receiver for the Giants, and his average draft position right now is 39. I have him ranked 40th, so basically I like the value where you're getting him. He's not a guy you should be reaching on because he's not going to post ridiculous numbers. I mean, Odell's there. But he'll be the number 2 behind Odell, and he's going to get a lot of single coverage because, you have to quadruple Odell. And the Giants aren't a fantastic run team. I mean, they have a ton of running backs that are all decent, and they can run the ball, but they're not like an overwhelming ground and pound team. And to be honest, they've improved their defense, but it's not a prolific defense either. So there will definitely be games that they're going to have to air it out. And if all these teams are really just double and triple teaming Odell, it should leave Shepard open. He's a really good athlete. I'd say maybe he could probably push a little under 1,000 yards, I would expect from him. You can't really predict touchdowns. Next guy, 4th, Coleman out of Baylor, and he looks to be probably the best athletic wide receiver in the draft. I mean, 88th percentile 40 time, 87th percentile college dominance rating, 97th percentile SparkX rating, which is like a mixture of your speed, your agility, your reaction time, your quickness, all those things. So he's a really good athlete. And honestly, he's going to be the number 1 in Cleveland. Maybe he doesn't run the number 1 routes to start, but it really doesn't matter. Edelman's not the number 1 receiver in New England. He doesn't run number 1 routes. He's still the number 1 receiver. He's the guy that gets targeted the most. And Coleman, even if he doesn't run the number 1 routes, will be targeted more than any other receiver in Cleveland. Plus, Cleveland's awful. So they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. I guarantee you they're not going to make the playoffs. So unless RG3 just happens to have an amazing year, which probably isn't going to happen. So they're going to be down. He's really fast, really athletic. So they're probably going to try and throw him a lot of screens, get him the ball in space, and really just see what he can do with it. I don't think you should be expecting any less than really 1,000 yards from him if he stays healthy and plays the full year. So next guy we have number 3, Tyler Lockett. And there is a trend with this list. It's athletic players. And Lockett is very, very athletic. 92nd percentile 40 time rate of 4.440. That is fast. 87th percentile college dominance rating, which means he's done it before. And whenever I talk about this college dominance rating, it basically means have they done it before? Yes, you can be fast, you can be tall, you can be athletic, but have you ever actually been good? That's a really good thing you have to look at. And he has. He did really well in college. He had 666 touchdowns last year, so he can find the end zone. Wilson might have to pass a little more this year because they don't have Marshawn running the ball. And again, they didn't have him last year. But with the run game, you don't know if Rawls is going to produce like he did last year. And again, Rawls did produce a lot when they were up. I'm not saying Rawls is a super athlete, but their defense isn't maybe as amazing as it has been. It maybe has taken a step back. So if you don't have Lynch, you don't have the monster defense, Wilson might have to throw a little bit more to stay in the game. And Wilson is a very underrated passer. He gets his wide receivers the ball on the spot. I mean, he's a very good passer. So I think Lockett could be a very good value pick. I mean, average draft position right now is 44th, but I have him ranked 30th. So good value there. Next guy, I love his value. He is going as wide receiver 70. I have him ranked 38th, and that's Kamar Aiken. Listen, Steve Smith's about 95 years old. That you get injured when you're that old, or you stop producing. I don't think he's going to stop producing. I think he's going to be still solid number 1 when he's healthy. Good strategy for him, though. Steve Smith, draft him first 4 weeks. He's probably going to go off. Trade him because he's going to get hurt. There's no doubt in my mind he'll get hurt. But if he does happen to decline, Aiken looks like the number 2 right now. He should push for that number 1 spot. Ravens throw a lot because they they're okay at running the ball. Their defense is mediocre. There's like an average team, so they throw a lot. They have Flacco. He's a decent quarterback, so it's not like they can't throw the ball. And I mean, last year, you got to look at his numbers last year. 75 catches, 944, and 5 touchdowns. That's pretty good. For a guy that's average draft position is 70th wide receiver off the board, like that is not, you're not being drafted as the 70th wide receiver. You know, that's like what? That's like a 7th or 8th wide receiver on your team. Maybe like 8th. Like I have him ranked 38th, and I think that's good value for him. So if you're looking 12th round, if you can snag Kamar Aiken in the 12th round, I think that could be one of the steals of the draft. Plus, you add that in to some running back flyers. If you watch the running back video, I'm going to be putting out next week. It's the same exact video, top 5 running backs to take late in the draft. Pair some of these guys up. Oh, you got some nice lottery picks. But the number 1 position for the best wide receiver to take late in the draft, Devonta Parker. And this one is a stretch for this video, maybe, because late is wide receiver 30 late. I don't know. But you know what? I had to put him in because I am pumped about this kid this year. I might move him up in my rankings. Still haven't decided. I have him ADP. His ADP is 30th right now for wide receivers. I have him ranked 29th. But this guy's a monster. I mean, I watched the film on him, and everything checks out. Like, you got to remember, he went 14th overall last year. So, I mean, he did really, really good in college. 90th percentile college dominance rating. 93rd percentile breakout age. 88th percentile adjusted speed score. He's 6'3" and fast. He's going to probably be running the number 1 routes for them. Last year, averaged 95 receiving yards in the last 3 games, and that wasn't just from one big week. He basically had 95 each week. The last 6 weeks of the season, his pace was 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns. And you got to say, he was a rookie last year, and he was just hurt in the beginning of the year. He had a foot injury that he had to come back from. That's why he wasn't producing in the beginning of the year and wasn't even playing. Once he got the field, he was a monster out there. I mean, if they have in the slot, they've got Jarvis Landry, probably, running like those number 2, number 3 routes, being the number 2 option behind Devonta Parker. I mean, he could have a monster breakout year. So he's definitely a guy I'm targeting. He's a guy that I don't care if you reach a round or 2 ahead for Devonta Parker. If you're sitting in like the wide receiver 20 range and you really want Devonta Parker, I have no problem with you reaching for him. I think he's an absolute stud, great talent. And yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to move him up my rankings. So that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be putting out, as I said earlier, the top 5 running backs to target late in the draft. That might be one you want to look for a little bit more because I do target wide receivers generally in the beginning, so I don't have as many opportunities to draft wide receivers late, which is what I suggest you do. Take all your shots at running backs late. So you know what? If you want to draft every single running back I have on that list late, the odds are one of them is going to be a running back 1 at the end of the year. So that is the end of the video. If you watched this far, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.